to play every day. Yes and no. I can't remember where I heard this quote, or rather I read this quote, but it said it only takes 20% of the initial effort to keep and they were referring to the gym, to keep the muscle that you built. So once you build that level of muscle, it only takes 20% of that initial effort, that initial investment to keep that, to maintain that. Now, of course, if you haven't achieved, to achieve more gains, you would need to put more than 20%. And I think that's similar for handball. Initially you need a big investment up front, right? You need a big investment up front, whether it be playing every day, whether it be playing every other day. You need a schedule and you need some consistency to get you to that level where you can kind of sit back and only give 20% and maintain. I was speaking to Carlene at a tournament recently, and he was saying how I work, I have a family, I got kids, I got a wife, I have other hobbies, and I don't have time to play every day. Mind you, Carlene just won an open doubles not too long ago. Not the youngest guy, not the oldest guy either. I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but maybe late 30s, early 40s. But he goes, I can't play every day. I don't have the time to play every day. But when I do play, I play high intensity, low reps, high intensity. And that's kind of where you have to take it once you've reached a certain level and, life comes with responsibilities, work, family, girlfriend, different hobbies, whatever have you, whatever have you. You have to maximize your time. You have to do high intensity if you can't do high reps and high intensity. You know what I mean? If you just do high reps but low intensity, you're only gonna get so much better, right? You're only gonna get so much better, and at a point, you're not even maintaining. You need to do, you'd be at bare minimum, you'd be maintaining. But if you wanna progress and you don't have a lot of time, you can't play every day, then I recommend high intensity. When you are able to come to the park, play hard games. Even if you gotta wait an hour, even if you gotta wait 2 hours is tough, but even if you gotta wait 2 hours, but you can get 30 minutes of high intensity at this point where you don't have a lot of time, I'd say that's way better than playing, 3-4 games, but you're not really being pushed to your limit. You're comfortable. And that's another thing. When you play every day and you're not pushing yourself, you're not playing harder competition, you kind of get comfortable, and you get to a point where you find just the right amount of effort and investment to keep you comfortable, but not necessarily allowing yourself to progress and get better and grow, which is not good. You know what I mean? Depending on your goals, that's not great. So you want to think about, if you are afforded the time and energy to play every day, how are you using that time, right? Are you using that time effectively? Are you just kind of maintaining? Are you just, you know what I mean? Are you comfortable? Are you pushing yourself? Are you learning new skills when you get on the court? Are you playing better competition? Are you, are you having variety in your routine? Are you training outside the court? All these things are important. What do you think about that, George? People who say you have to play every day to get better.
No, that's dumb.
Why?
I mean, it's good to practice, but you don't need to play every day. It also depends on your age. if you peak, you could afford to play every day, but you don't have to. There's different ways to train. I feel that people nowadays they focus more on playing opposed to training. Playing doesn't give you the same repetitive shot, the same repetitive serve, the same repetitive lob.
Right.
Playing is just playing. So I think they are lacking on that.
What's a good ratio of training to playing?
I want to say easily, I'd say 70-30, at least 30% of training.
30% training, okay.
70% is just staying in tune and keeping your timing on point.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important.
And what advice would you give to people who say, you know, I barely have time to play, like let alone train. When I come to the court, I just want to get games in, you know. I'm pressed on time, I got work, family, kids.
I mean, that comes first.
For sure.
That comes first. Handball is not life unless you make a living out of it, and unfortunately right now, at least in the States, we're not at that level. So hopefully if someone thinks outside the box, go to Europe, be a trainer there, make some money out of it at least. But
For
in
sure.
the States is just recreation for now.
Okay.
Unless you are a degenerate gambler, which we have here, but that's not a living.
Gambling's bad, guys.
You can't sustain a family like that.
Yeah. What advice would you give to new players?
There's an entire wall. There's an entire wall. Think about lobs. Think outside the box. Think about that. Excuse my language. Think about stuff that
Kids on
people
here.
won't think about. You know, not everything is a killer. Not everything is a roller. You know, you could drive by. You could lob. You could Tony. You know, there's so many tools that you can use. Do not concentrate just one thing, and definitely think outside the box. If you could angle your serve a little more, if you could lob a little better, just because no one at your park is doing it, it doesn't mean that you don't have to.
Best tip on landing a Tony. This guy's a Tony master, by the way, guys.
So when somebody say, "Oh, I Tony'd you," I'm that Tony.
You gotta be aware of your surroundings. That's all. Kind of like think 2 steps ahead. So that works. That definitely was right, Amir.
That's advanced. I mean, I know to not get caught. I know how to not get caught by one. You definitely got to think 2 steps ahead. Yeah, you gotta just light on the feet. You gotta be.
No, you don't. You still get caught nowadays. Stop.
You gotta be so light on your feet. And like, if you get caught once, bro, do not get caught a second time. Like, you fool me once, cool. You get fooled twice, oh man.
Have you got
This guy's just gonna level. He's gonna power up so much. Yes, I have gotten fooled twice. Yeah.
Oh yes, another thing, mental is 80% of your game. If I could crack you mentally, you're done. And that's my oh shit handle when I'm losing a game.
Okay.
I'm older, but that's a huge event. That's a huge thing that you could. That's a huge thing that you could definitely take advantage of. You crack someone mentally, and it's over. You could tell when you crack someone mentally.
Yeah.
So use that.
For sure. For sure. Mental game. Think about the mental game. It's more than just physical on the court. And that shows just from, you know, if it was just all physical, the most muscular guys would be the best players, but that's not always the case.
Look at handball players. Not necessarily the most athletic looking.
Damn, shots fired. He's talking about you. You right there. He's talking about him right there.
I mean,
You, and you. All three of y'all.
Imagine if you were on point. Imagine if you were in good shape.
Think about it. Think about it. Levels to this. Go get yourself a gym routine.
And drop that burger, man. Just let it go. Let it go.
He's eating right now. You eating right now watching this video. That's crazy.
Slow down with that butter.
Crazy. Put the soda down, man. Put that soda down. Get you some water.